Hello. Wanted to do a little bit of a mask make today. If you recall, we made these kind of almost glowing type black strips, and this is all that I've got left. So I wanted to make some more, and I thought instead of just black, what if we did some variations? That way we can use our oxides, which show up really well on the black, and some of our other ones on maybe the this isn't exactly craft colored, but close enough, and some white for some of our brighter colors. So we'll just need some inks, we'll need some brushes, or some you can use makeup sponge, and some, I pulled out a couple of stamp sets. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to do is round all of our corners. And I'm gonna go with the little ones because I think this is the triple rounder and this is the 4mm. I think they look really nice with these little bits of rounding on the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and round all my corners, and then I will be right back with you. Okay, so we got all of our corners rounded, and I think, and it makes a big mess, I think what we should start with is, let's go ahead and start with the black and just see what we've got here. One of the things I did while I was rounding my corners is I took these two that were offcuts, and you can re-round those corners and continue to use them. So it's not like they're lost by any stretch, even if you do use them, you know, partially, if you just use a bit of it. So my strips are approximately 1 inch. I want to start with the speckled egg. And just dive right in. I think that this effect is so fun. And if you don't want it quite as bright, you don't have to. You can, you know, only put a little on and have it like that, or you can layer it up. You could do different colors if you wanted. The nice thing about because the Distress oxides are both ink and pigment, that pigment shows up really nicely on the darker paper. I have tried it with Distress inks and without that, oh, what word am I looking for? It starts with an O. I know it starts with an O. Oh, it'll come to me, maybe, at some point. The inks are too transparent. They don't... Opaque. There it is. Opaque. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, well, already did. It's done. I'll just have to really clean it off before I put it back in my little thing. I don't want to get this darker ink onto my speckled egg, but that's okay. We'll just make sure we really clean it off well. Let's get a little more down here, a little brighter. Doesn't even have to be even from one end to the next. But then we'll go in with some stamps and we'll put the darker stamps on there, and it'll give a really neat effect. that we can then use for layering. And I think we'll do a few today. You can make them into dangles. You could layer them up. Oops, layer them up and make them into page edges, or you know, you could stick. It'd be long, but that's okay. You could stick something on like this and have it as a little bit of an offshoot out the side of a journal if you would like. I guess we're just going to keep going with this brush because this purple was really, really pretty against that black. And this is a nice little a little mask make. You can sit and do it while you're watching TV if you want. You don't have to do all the steps at once. Oops, let's get a little over there. You don't have to do all of the steps at once. You can do just the inking, and then next time if you want to, then you do the stamping. But today I feel like playing with some color, and sometimes it can be hard to know where to put the color, especially if you typically do like a grungy type journaling or cards. So this I find is a nice little pop. Let's go ahead and do another purple. We got a couple of extras here, so let's just, what if we go super bright with this one? We'll start really bright right in the middle. I'll get that nice and thick. It'll take a little bit to dry, but that's okay. We'll just make sure that before we go to the next step that we've given it plenty of time. Now I want to buff out these edges just a touch so that we don't have a super stark edge. It's almost like makeup. I'm blending makeup. But more fun in my opinion. I'm not a big makeup person. All right, there's a nice bright purple. Let's do one more of the broken china. I do have the sapphire, the chipped sapphire. It doesn't show up quite as well because it is quite dark. And give ourselves a really good bright blue one here, similar to what we did with the purple. We're just going to feather it out here. I'm not even going to let it dry this time. I'm just going to go. And there we go. All right, let's set these oxides aside and let's move on to, switch those off. Let's move on to some of our inks. I'm gonna clean this off real quick before I put it away. There's quite a bit in there. All right, pretty good. So what do I got here? I've got shabby shutters. I'm just looking at my, these handful of brushes that I have already marked with a color. We can go similar color. Here's some that aren't marked at all. So I think we'll use some of these as well. My husband, as he, in typical Jeff fashion, came home from errands today with a new set of inks for me, so I want to play with them because he's always so nice and he buys me these supplies that it just, you know, what a treat. Cheers, some coffee. So I definitely want to play with some of these today. So let's see, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3. I cut out quite a bit. 4, 5, 6 little sets. I cut out quite a bit of the white. So how about we go with these and maybe some yellow, and we could go with an orange, or maybe we'll use the orange on this darker and we'll go with this other picked raspberry. Can do a set of pinks. So let's start with the lightest. I don't know why I'm worried about that paper, but I am. So let's get this guy out. And that looks pretty clean. Maybe a little bit of something on there, but pretty good. So let's start with sponge sugar. Have not used these yet. Let's give a quick, let's check them out. We'll play together. No, I don't know. Maybe that's not as clean as I thought it was. Let's try. Let's try this makeup sponge. Or maybe that's just the color. We're gonna flip it over. We're gonna flip it over and go fresh. Definitely not just the color. This does not work as well as, oops, as the brush itself. I'm a little nervous. Oh, it doesn't work at all as well as the brush. All right, so let's see. I do like the color though. It sure is pretty. I wonder if we can just kind of work it around. We're just experimenting here with what we've got. That's not quite the glowing of the other, but I don't think that really makes a huge difference, does it? Not to me. Let's get just a little bit more there. What about the little brush? Is it dirty? It doesn't seem dirty. Let's... must have something on it. I do have some of the domed foams on the way, but I don't have them yet. Oh wait, it's the same color. Let's just go like this. What if we dab? That seems to work a little better. If we dab first and then kind of work it around, it's a little bit more even. You can take that. And if there's a part of it that you don't like, cover it up. Cover it up with something else and just keep on going. So that is a very pretty and soft pink. So not the same effect that we got with the other, but I don't want to ruin these by having two. That's got, I know that has tea dye on it. I don't think I have any unused ones at this point. This one doesn't seem to have much. It had shabby shutters, but let's try this. Maybe that tiny bit of green won't make any difference. Look at that. That's pretty. This is a Kitsch Flamingo. Definitely brighter. And I don't know if it's the paper or the ink versus pigment ink combo. I'm guessing it has a lot to do, the different look that we've got here going on has a lot to do with the fact that this doesn't have the pigment. I believe it sits a little bit more on top of the paper, but don't quote me on that because I'm definitely not an expert by any stretch, not even just a tiny. I have an idea of something that we can try with these that tend to go in a little bit more. So I just I'm gonna get some more kind of all over. And then when we are done putting our ink on, then we can give it a shot. Let's try this method. Can that make any interesting? Gives an interesting texture, doesn't it? Why not? Let's do it. Does it leave lines? Surely does. Do we care? Nope. 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 All right. So there's one. Now a little bit of salt water. Let's get some of this off. Although I don't know how much it actually, well, it did pick it up though. Now, this salt water looks to be a little bit more toned down, a bit more peachy than a bright pink. It's nice to have so many different tones to play with as well. Not that you can't mix pink tones, because you surely can. But sometimes you want it to match. And if you do, then here's an option. I just kind of make this one a little less even. Have a bit more of the white areas showing through. Some lighter, some darker. I know you can layer this up. What about if let's try it with the flat. Put this back with our scorched timber. Let's try it with the flat and see what that does. Get a nice amount of ink on there. That actually, the size of this actually works better for making it more even. Well, that's a little surprising. Oops, what? I must have had something on my finger. All right, let's redo, turn it over. I do have something on my finger. I'll probably do it again, so we might just have to be okay with it. see what happens. So here's some different effects that you can decide if you like. You want to do a mixture, or if there's one that you really like over the others, you can just do them all in that particular way. All right, so what do we got here? We've got makeup sponge. Here, let's take a look at our different options. And yeah, I know they're different colors, but we've got makeup sponge. We've got the makeup brush. We got just rubbing it in, and we've got using a flat foam to put it on. I'm gonna set these to the side, and I think we should move on to some brown. Yes, I've got a ton, and we'll do more. But for the sake of speeding along, let's go ahead and do some of our browns, because I wanted to make sure that we've got time to play with them and make some fun stuff. So I want to go, oh, come on. Ugh. I want some vintage photo. Let me get some of that on here. The other thing you can do is tap a little of the heavy off the side if you don't want any heavy marks. And then just go in and build it up. And it doesn't look like you got a lot going on. But then when you compare it to what you started with, you definitely have, you know, a change in the tone. I want it to look a little bit messy and some dark spots. So I'm gonna go ahead and go straight on with that. And not even. It does not need to be even. There. Let's see, what shall we do with this one? Let's go straight up the middle with this one. We are getting different looks. Go straight up the middle and go darker in the center there. Ooh, it's super windy here today. The wind outside just blowing like crazy. All right, I want to see what we can do here. I want to see if this will show up. It does. All right. What if we go like this? Let's get ourselves this interesting, one of these with the interesting texture. That. What about if we just want to go like this? Also works. And it's faster if you're in a hurry. There's an option. How about a little bit of yellow? Why not? This one's showing up quicker for sure. too big of a hurry here. But I don't want to bore you to death either. If you have things that you want to see more of, or something that you haven't seen here on our little crafting together channel, drop them in the comments. I would love ideas for what you want to see. It'll help me decide what to put up, because there's a million different ideas out there, and they're all so cool. And I think I get analysis paralysis, and I don't know what. Oh, I'm going to do this, and I want to do that, and then I just either go back to the same things that I like to do, which maybe is okay, because you know, when you're doing kind of junk journal-y stuff, tags and whatnot, every single one is going to be different. That's just the nature of it. So maybe it is okay to, you know, to have it different every single time. Or, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. To have, you know, similar things, but just with a slightly different outcome. But if there are other things that y'all are interested in, all you have to do is mention it, and I will see what I can put together to do. Even if it's something brand new that we've never done, we can try it together. And if it's an epic fail, well, at least we had time set aside for making some creative art. Regardless of what comes out of it, I honestly think that crafting time is never wasted time. Consider it mental health therapy, if you must. If you need an excuse, which I don't think anybody should have to have an excuse, but if you need one, therapy, that's what we can call it. Okay, we got a load to play with. Get all of this stuff out of the way. And did we use, okay, so these are archival, so we don't need to try any sort of water-based effects on these. I'm going to leave the black ones as they are because I like that glowing effect, but I want to play with these ones a little bit. See how that has now soaked in and become even more even. Soaked in and spread a little bit. Did our pink do the same? Not quite. It's a little bit different. I'm going to take this one before we do move on. I'm going to put a little more on there. So I want to see if we can get it to spread a little more, and we might get a cooler effect with the next step. This is probably terrible for your things, but if we don't play and try things, then we won't know. All right, let's give that a minute to soak in, and I'm gonna go get some water, and we're gonna see what we can come up with here if we wet these a little bit. Okay, let's sit down and see what we can do here with some splatters. These are all Distress inks, so they won't, I'm gonna get these out of the way. And those. Theoretically, water droplets should pull some of that pigment out, and we'll see what we end up with for remaining color. Making a mess. All right, let's see. Now if we put this down, we should pull some of that ink off that was on the wet stuff. I don't know that we're necessarily pulling the ink off. Let's leave that one as it is. It is definitely reacting. It's interesting that the kitsch is gives a little bit of a purple undertone. So that is pretty. I do like that effect. Now we'll have to see what it does when it dries. Does it stay purple? Or does it just turn white? And does it make a difference how much ink we had on it and how much water we put? I like the, for sure, the sponge sugar effect with the water. And this is the taffy. So let's hit it quick and see what it does when it dries. Right, so we do lose the purple, but it does retain that really pretty darker line. So okay, now we know. These aren't quite dry yet. They'll dry while we're playing around. Okay, so now we know. So let's pull out some stamps and make some fun stuff. We'll just stick this under here so we can see what we got going on. I am thinking that we can use various deep browns for some of the yellows and the browns. I do want to stick with black for these because it looks so nice. But let's pull some stamps out and see what we want to do. I want to use some of this ledger type on here. I think that will look cool. And pull this guy out. I tried to organize my stamps a little bit so they aren't as big of a ginormous mess. So I feel like we got to stick with this guy because it's, I don't know if it's my absolute favorite, but it's certainly way up there. So let's go archival for this. I'm thinking we might want to experiment a little bit with some embossing powder too. As another option. I'll do these guys on the bottom. And we don't have to use these on everyone, but they are super fun. So, you know what? Why not? If we want more variety, we can make more. We can make more if we want some more. So there's a happy amount there for me. Let's get a little bit of the extra off. What next? How about some sideways 3s? That works. Let's do one at the top. Let's do one this way. You can still tell what it is. And how about one right there? Okay. Next, I do love this little 6 1/4 cents. I don't know why, I just think it's very cool. So right there, because I probably shouldn't have pushed it down quite that hard. I've mentioned a few times that these stamps from Temu are definitely not the same high quality that you get when you buy a true Tim Holtz set or a, you know, Sam Poole or any of those. And so they're not as stiff. And so if you press them real hard, then they most definitely will smash, and they will not give you as clear of an image. Where with the Tim Holtz ones, the better quality, you can push very hard and it's not going to smash on you. Let's not put it upside down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it doesn't, we don't want it upside down either. Off to the side, and I think that's it for this one. Let's go, how about ticket next? Let's put some ticket on here. There's that. One is full. Let's go ticket here. And how about ticket here for the other half of this? Very nice. It's just fun, and it doesn't take a lot of thought. It shouldn't take a lot of thought. That's the beauty of it, is you just go. I think I'll go sideways with this one. Let's put one on here. Well, that wasn't very straight, but again, not a problem. One there, call that guy done. And let's go sideways on here. There we go. Now, we need, what do we want? How about this one? I'm only half even seeing what I'm grabbing. We're just grabbing. Works. There's that. And right in the center here with our glow. Okay, next, let's go this 4 1/2. If you don't have 6 1/4, you can do 4 1/2. Why not? Let's go this other direction. And up and down here. Here we are. Let's call that done. What else do we need? One more little thing on here. How about something round? I don't think I've used this yet. How about something round and stamped at an angle? Very nice. And a half a round down here. There. Done. Okay. There's a new set ready for using. And off to the side it goes. Now, let's move along to How about we do our yellows and our browns next? We can pick some vintagey colors that we want to use on this. Let's pull out some forest moss. This one always throws me because it gets pretty yellowish, but I think that's okay. Let's go with the library card numbers. At least that's what I think of them as. Let's see if we like that on here in this color. Not too shabby, although not quite as crisp as the inks. So I think I want to set this aside, and instead let's grab walnut stain ink. And see if that gives us a better result. A little better. I'm going to say that's a little better. But part of it might just be the stamp itself. But let's see if we can do it a little lighter. I don't know. Either or. Kind of indifferent, I think, about that. Let's do a hand. I like this hand. And I'm gonna see if it was perhaps just the fact that we used archival that kept it nice and crisp. So let's go with our ground espresso. Although it's not an exact comparison, of course, because we're changing stamps. I do like that. Hey guy, look, your stuff's late. That's what it says to me. How about this one pointing up? And then we'll put one other in the middle. That turned out nice. I'm okay with that now. And in the middle, let's see. Stars. Let's put some stars there. I love it. And we can do the same thing here. How about at an angle? No, I want them right here. There. Sometimes I'm hesitant to do things too similar, but really, they're not going to go in the same journal or the same, likely to the same person. Majority of the time they're going to be completely separate. So if you find a design you like, make more than one. There is no problem in doing that. Horizontal, vertical. Fit? It does. All right. We'll call those few finished. And I covered over the other ones. That's not so helpful. All right. Let's pull out our ledger stamps. We said we were going to try some of those. Those I haven't opened yet. This will be just fine for giving that a shot. I don't think I opened them, did I? Maybe, maybe not. No, I really don't think I have. If I did, and I'm lying, I do apologize. How about this one? That one isn't lined up perfectly. I must have used the long ledger one. Definitely have not used this one. think we want to go with this side to start. Let's see if we like, there was, oh wow, that's cool. That is super crisp. Okay. Let's do the other side on one of these. Make sure we get it good. Oh yeah. I'm liking that one. This was definitely worth a purchase. All right, let's see. What about these other guys? Let's see if we can get something long and in the other direction. These skinny ones are kind of hard to get flat. Or straight, I guess. They're flat, I just don't know if they're straight. We can go close enough. Let's just put those, oh, oops, that's upside down. We don't have to be perfect, but if they're at least going in the same direction, that'll be helpful. Oh, for the love of God, just do it. Remember the not perfection? That's what we're going for. That one I squashed too hard. Yep, don't squash them too much. That goes there, and this goes here and here. Now, what shall we have? Let's try this one and see if we like this one. At least go with a portion of it. Straight here. Very nice. And what about on this one if we go sideways? Let's just get any extra off for the moment. And what if we just go with this top part? And maybe, did I get ink on the, little, oh, those aren't, it's not even that wide. What am I, oh, we did miss some over here though. Works. Okay. Good stuff. And next, let's go with this guy. Oops, it's still got some pink on it. I was playing with the pink and kind of trying to see what that would do with the pink. Overlapped a little. That's okay. Let's go down at the bottom here. And I think that's okay for this. And you can really, I mean, the difference in quality is not questionable. Not questionable in the least. So, I was gonna pull more out, but let's just go with these because they're right here by us. So let's just keep going with what we've got. That. So some of this might be covered. And Let's put a perfection on. I have not used this one yet. Let's go ahead and use it. Yeah, so some of this might be covered depending on how you want to build what you're going to use this for. All right. Let's set these aside and move on to some pink. Now for these, I'm thinking that where these will most likely end up is in something maybe a little flowery or perhaps a little more feminine. So I think I'm going to dig out some different stamps that we don't usually use. So I'm going to grab us some options and we'll be right back. Okay, I think with these we're going to play not only with the images but also with colors. Because like we said before, if we don't like it, we just don't use it, right? So I want to get one of these things were so sticky that I don't know if I can get them out. Oh, maybe. Ugh. All right. It was a little difficult. It's nice when they stick like that, but all right, I'm just going to do a chipped sapphire that runs very purple and see what it's like if we do the whole thing. Let's see what we end up with here. I don't know, it doesn't matter if it's upside down or not, but something just makes me want to go like this. All right, about, I'm having a hard time seeing. These ones are pretty stiff, so you can give them a good push. I didn't get it very straight. And it's not the most interesting thing in the world, so we aren't going to do that one again. Set him off to the side. What if we go, this was one of my very first stamps that I had. You can see I have used it to no end. I didn't even have a block to put it on, so I stuck it on this little bitty ruler. But I do love it. It's got a really pretty design to it. I probably got it at a thrift store somewhere. All right, so we've got our little curl, and what if we added some of these little flowers to the bottom? We'll just go right over the top of those ones that we don't, that wasn't all that interesting. All right, well, it gave us some, it gave us something. We got something. That's what we're calling that. That's a something or other. Okay. I think we're going to skip on the blue. And what about if we come in with, if I remember, this is, let's get that out of my way. What do we got here? Where are our lighter ones? This is taffy, and that lines with that. And this is, we didn't go festive berry. We didn't, that's Kitsch Flamingo, and this is our sponge sugar. So what if we take this cute bird here and we go in and stamp with a darker color? Let's see what this color will give us. I haven't used this guy either. I could stand to invest in more of these blocks, but you know. It's not 100% necessary. Let's see what, oh gosh, that's so bright. Is it because I didn't push, or does it not? It might be a little lumpy. Sometimes that happens. Oh, it looks like it's because I didn't, no, I think it might be lumpy. All right, let's try this bird. He's cute too. He's cute too. Let's see what he does. Yep, let's do him. All right, and I think I'm gonna be okay trying out this color. Yeah. I like it. I know that this guy is lovely. I hope it doesn't have, is that gonna, I should probably clean that a little bit before I use it again. How about this? I'll just stick that right on. And how about another one? A little bit lighter. There. So we'll go with that. And let's pick, that's scripty. That goes with our bird. Let's pick something out of this little French set that I don't use very much. These are pretty nice. I tried to organize myself at least a little bit. It's a little tight in there, but that's okay. Let's see. What about this? This is a bit fancy. Let's try this guy, a little fancy. Nice. And what else would be pretty on there? I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very important note, so let's put that on. Something about these, it doesn't give quite the same feeling as when you use the darker colors. It's still pretty. There's just, I don't know. I don't know, it must just be an aesthetic thing, I guess. Let's do, I'm gonna do Scorched Timber and see how that looks with the similar, you know, some similar choices, but with a different color. Well, I squashed it too much to start, and that's fine. Let's see if we like this bird better. Wipe some of that off. I could wash it, but you know, that would be the right thing to do. And sometimes we don't have time for that nonsense. We want fun and quick and easy. Let's not cut the bird's head off, shall we? Oh, and that's in the way. Oh, that's all right. It's all right. I'm fine with that. I don't know what I was all up in arms about with that, that other one being not just so. I feel like we still need to, oh, I just dumped a bunch of them all over my desk. Well, there you have it. What a dummy. Okay, what do we got here? How about this? I hope none of these say anything inappropriate. I don't speak other language. What do I know? I would feel sad. I mean, maybe I'd laugh. It might be kind of funny, I suppose, but let's see. Not super crisp, but I think that's all right. Do we want something a little up in the... You know, you can always add to them when you use them, too. I need to remember that. How about... Let's go back to... These are just fine. However, I just, you know, I like the look of the grunge. Let's try to get this semi-straight at least. Well, that didn't do it. Better. Oh, I forgot we were going to try to do some embossing and see what that looked like. That's a little heavy. Remember that that guy is a little heavy. All right. This, it's kind of humorous to me that just changing the aesthetic a little bit feels like it then takes a lot more thought. And I might be totally making that up. But it seems to me like it's so much easier to just start going with these ones that you know you love. So maybe it's okay to not go all over the place all the time. Let's go at an angle. We don't do that very often. Reserved. That you can try your normal aesthetic with different colors, but still keep it in line with what you know that you're gonna like. But you don't have to. You do whatever you want to do, which is part of the fun. Telephone. All right, one more. I'm thinking what we want to do with the embossing, and I don't think it's this. I think we want one of the black ones, and I will show you what I'm thinking here in a minute. Let's get this one done without a lot of thought and knowing what we like, and just going to town. We're just going to put all of this on quickly without too much thinking. Well, that didn't go well. All right, well, we don't have to think, but we can still stamp with reasonable accuracy. How about we go over this section here, and at least it has something. Do we care that it's overlapped? Nope. No, we do not. Okay. Getting this out of the way. Now, here is what I am thinking might look really, really cool. Getting these out of the way, getting these out of the way. And we're going to try this. Oh, we missed one. Well, we'll live. I want to try this with a little bit bigger piece of paper. And now I just dumped things all over another area of my workspace. We're getting out our good guys here. And getting out our embossing ink, and I want clear. There, clear embossing powder. That's what I want. One of you guys, when we were stamping on the washi tape, and some was sticking and some was not, we went to StazOn because we knew that would stick and dry, and it worked, and it did. It was fine. But somebody mentioned that you could also emboss over the Distress or the Archival, and that, well, sorry, the Archival will stick, but the oxides, the inks, you can emboss over the top of them, and then they will stay. It seals them in. So I want to try that, but I want to try it with one of our black and Distress oxides as the background. But I wonder if it'll stick. Well, we'll figure it out. We're going to try it anyway. Now we could... We're just going to try it. We're going to try it. Because we won't know if we don't try it. So let's just give it a try. I want something bright so that we can really get a good feel for how it's going to work. I'll get a decent amount on here. And I think what we'll try it 2 different ways, and we'll just do it right here on this piece. And it fits with what we're doing because you could then use this technique on any of your little strippies that you make. And of course, you don't have to just cut new paper. Use your scraps to do this kind of stuff. I don't have any black paper scraps, so... Get that there. I want to try it. Couple of different ways, but I want this oxide to dry first, because otherwise we're just going to emboss the entire thing and it's not going to show what I want to try. So I'm going to dry this and then we'll give it a shot. Okay, so I want to try to see what happens if we use a different color. Well, we can't use Archival. That's not the point. Let's go Festive Berries, because it's bright and should show up on the purple. And then the other thing I want to try is to see if we do it over just the embossing, if that will hold this purple and we can wipe away the rest of it. So let's use, I want to use this pretty bold number so we can get a good impression of what it's going to behave, how it is going to behave. I'm going to do this one first. The thing about embossing ink, this guy, is it dries slower, so you have more time. Let's see. All right, so for this, you got to blow really hard to get it off because it does stick. Now, can we also brush some off? Yes. Maybe I didn't get it dry enough. We'll find out. Oops, I brushed too hard. That's okay. Let's see what it does. Let's close this. Let's close this. Last thing I want to do is blow embossing powder all over my desk. That stuff is so messy. I'm just going to cover that up. Let's see what we get with this. Now, you really can't see the color. It's got maybe a pink hue to it, but not a lot. Not as much as it did before we embossed it. All right, so let's try. There's a lot of ink left on here. Let's get this off. Yeah, I've made a mess of this thing, as you can see. And let's see if that's a lot stickier. It's still it's not as bad, but I still need to blow it. My God, it's enough to kill a person. Enough to kill a person, but it did stick better on here than it did on the archival, the distress ink. So we know that about that now. Do, do, do. It may not be worth the effort. Let's see how cool the effect is when we're done. All right, let's go ahead and... All right. Now here, it is a little bit more apparent when you compare the two that there's a pink tinge to this. So now I want to get this out of the way, and I want to see if we can make a cool effect out of that. Let's fold this a little and get it up. I could pause and skip all of this, but you know, this way, if you're playing along, then you can also do it at the same time. Give you time to do that. Or grab a coffee, you know. Okay, now, let's see what happens if we get this wet. Not that, that's filthy. Why today? Today's giving me troubles. All right. Here, I know what we'll do. We'll grab a baby wipe because it will be fresh, it will be clean. We know that this is a common tool for everybody. Not that everybody doesn't have a rag, but I want to see what happens if we start pulling some of this off. Does it look cool? Does it look stupid? Does it look like nothing? I don't care a lot for the pink. You can't rub too much. It does have kind of a cool effect. I would say be careful what kind of paper you use it on, because I'm just tearing the heck out of my paper here. Perhaps if it was more of a, no, even swiping, it's even worse. I wonder if you could dab it off. Maybe. I mean, some of it's coming. But look at the dye from the paper coming off. Well, okay, so our little experiment only kind of worked a little bit. We'll still use it. It will still be fine. Guys, it's fine. All right, now that we've played and made a bunch of stuff, let's make a dangle or two. Just something fun. Let me get all the ink off my desk, except for black, because we might want to stamp black or scorched timber. But let me get all this colored stuff off my desk, and we'll play around a little bit more. Okay, the desk is back into some semblance of order. We've got our bases here that we made in the 3 different kinds, and I cut some 1/2-inch strips and was thinking, let's pull out our snarkies and make some snarky dangles. We'll put some eyelets in them to attach them together and go to town. So let's just start grabbing some. Going to try to not think too much about which ones we pick. We're just gonna grab some things. Okay, I've got a good heart, but this mouth. Let's use brown on this. Oh, we're gonna go vintage photo. Let's just ink around the edges a bit, and we'll ink around the edges of our base as well, and maybe around some corners. All right. These are pretty sticky, but just in case, I'm going to add just a touch of glue. We'll make a few of these. I know we've got kind of a long video going today, but it's the weekend, guys. Relatively straight. Let's clip this. Let's see if we can round the edges. We may be too small. Nope. You know what I didn't do? I didn't leave enough space for an eyelet. Oops. All right, well, adjust. We will adjust. I wonder if we can get one mostly in. I kind of like it here. Let's ink these edges. This is a good thing to, you know, sit and watching some television. Let's put that here and see if we can manage. Let's not take my finger off. Can we get at least most of it? We'll see if that looks like it's gonna hold. We'll try it. If not, well, it doesn't hold and we just put an eyelet on the one. Nobody died. How about bright gold? We don't use that very often. You can still see the words. All the washers are probably down at the bottom. Right washer, flat side down. And we are on setting A2. Extra good squeeze. Oops, he locked in place. Oh, that isn't the lock. This is unlock. All right. Let's see. Is that going to stay? That's not going anywhere. Just fine. Then we can grab a bulb pin. Let's go bright gold for this as well. Stick that in there, and then this is ready to attach. You can put a charm on it if you want, or you know, if you have a journal page or a tag or something that you put another eyelet in, stick this in and you've got a nice little snarky something or other to add. So let's keep going. And maybe for this one, we want to add something else. How about we add this second bit here, and then a piece of black. We'll go with black and white this time. Put it somewhere. We could even go clear off here to the side, but or right in the middle. We'll do what we do what we want. Okay, let's pick a saying. Take these off to the side. Let's pick a saying. This is my cup of care. Oh, look, it's empty. I'll leave a little more space this time. We're gonna grab our archival. I'm gonna get rid of that white paper core. Do a few of these. I'm going to leave more on this time. Add our bit of glue. Stick it somewhat in the middle. Apparently also smear a big bunch of everything. All right, now. How did I clean my desk and there's still only a little bit of room to work? Clipping that. I'm going to clip this off as well, but leave that extra space. Let's round our corners. I can't quite see. I think that's in there. Yes, it was in there. It's harder to see with the black paper. Well, that wasn't in there. Maybe I had something stuck. Huh, that acted bizarre, but that's okay. It'll look, for the most part, correct. A little bit of not correct is just going to give us some character. Why is it doing that? Of course, I say that, and then I'm like, wait a minute. All right, there. I don't know why it left us that little nubbins in the middle, but let's get him off. Okay. Now, we've got our tag, or our ticket, label. Come on, man, get with the program. And we'll put this here. and punch a hole. How about a white one here? There we go. And we'll grab a dealio here. Wash your flat side down. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Squeeze. Unlock. Oh, I got that one a little tight. Let's see. Can we straighten? Yep, we can still straighten it. You could wonky it. You can do whatever you want. And also have a little white bulb pin. Some colored ones. And there's another ready to go. Set those here. Let's go ahead with one of the black ones. And I think let's go ahead and do white on here and see if there's anything else that we want to put underneath. Something probably relatively dark. Maybe, maybe not. I could go with something round. I don't have anything round. Maybe if we do that, we want to go with one of these. How about this? Let's go with one of these with the black, and we'll put this on the top. So let's pick how about, in my defense, I was left unsupervised. If we can get it off. Now with this one, I don't want it to go all the way to the end. I do want to clip it ahead of time. But we want it longer on the one end. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of our white core. And we're going to do one extra step on this one. I'm going to use, and this has vintage photo on it, and I'm just going to go over this ever so slightly to knock down some of that bright white and make a mess on my mat here, of course. And then it's going to match a little better and it won't be quite so stark. There's that. Now, let's clip this around our corners. So much easier to see. I don't know if that'll be too long or not. We can always clip it more should we need to. All right, now let's go ahead and ink these. And we will ink our little circle. Which is not perfectly placed with the stamp, but we don't care because we're having fun. And we don't throw things away just because they're imperfect. That does not at all go with how we like to do things. I was thinking about gluing this to the back first, but I think, you know, that would probably be the right thing to do, but we just do what we want. All right, let's put our hole, right size one. Let's put our hole right about there. And how about we go with this kind of gunmetal-y color. One washer. I think that's one. Yep. And set that in place. Nice squash. Oh, look at that completely turned. Oh no. Well, it fell, guys. Let's see, what do we want to do with this? We can't, oh, can we get it? We're gonna wonky it all up, but maybe that's okay. Let's see, can we get it to turn without ripping? The answer is probably no. What about getting this to turn a little bit? I squeezed it too hard. Ugh. Well, here, you know what we're gonna do? We're distressing it. Da, 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 da. There. Now it's well loved. Upside down, but well loved. And this also went to an angle so you can see it. Deal. I'll take it. All right, let's pick a bulb pin. We'll go here with just the plain black. And yet another snark ready to add to our stash. I think I might do a few more and then I'll show you what I end up with. Okay guys, I zoomed in a little bit. Let's see, I'll just hold them up here for you. So this is the one that we worked on. Here is another, this time I put it just off to the side with the matching eyelet. And something you can do if your paper is a little thin for the eyelet is just tag another little piece of paper underneath and go for it that way. And you know, you don't have to, oops, I forgot our little bulb pin here. Let's grab that on here. Don't have to put snarkies on everything, clearly. Not everybody's going to have them. Not everybody's going to like them. You can still make something fun and interesting and ready to hang in. Just added a little sticker. I put two of the pink ones together here. And one of our washi tape lady labels that we made last time. And oops, that's one that's not done. And then here's another one. Little grungy, no snark on this one, and one of the little strips that we made before. Here's another one where we needed some extra reinforcement. So I hope that you played along today, got some good ideas, and can do something similar with whatever you happen to have in your stash. I hope the rest of your Sunday goes lovely, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!